Hey guys, I'm Sean Meenan, one of the co-founders here at Wyspur AI. Are you a sales professional or agency that does outbound sales to generate pipeline for your own business or for your clients? Are you tired of the inaccurate filtering when building lists in Sales Navigator or the inability to drill down into specific niches when you're getting leads from places like Apollo, ZoomInfo, or even instantly supersearch? If so, we've built Wyspur AI just for you. The foundation of an effective sales campaign that actually drives real outcomes is building a list of hand-picked prospects. And our platform allows you to leverage AI to analyze, clean, and enrich prospect lists in the same way that you would do manually. So we've created Wyspur AI to help us do the same type of list cleaning and research that we've done for our own agency that's generated millions in dollars in revenue, where normally we had a team of researchers doing a lot of manual effort. Now everything is automated and is taken care of in a matter of seconds or minutes with our platform. So I want to show you a little bit about how this works. As an example, if you're someone that does automation on LinkedIn, you probably live in LinkedIn Sales Navigator. You're going to be familiar with utilizing the different filters and tools here. As an example, we're building a list. Let's say we want to look for companies who are between 1 to 50 employees, and we want to find the titles there who are maybe a CEO or a VP of sales, really thinking of high-level C-level executives and people focused on the direction of the sales organization. And we want to find people that are in these types of industries. Maybe it's business and consulting or IT services and consulting or software development. So we'll set up those filters. And if you've used LinkedIn Sales Navigator, you are probably painfully aware that as you actually go through this list of people one by one, you will find that up to 60 or 70% of these people do not even meet this basic filtering criteria that you've set up, because LinkedIn is really bad at analyzing the data. It will mix and match different variables from different jobs that these people have had on their profiles, and it doesn't give you a great list. And so this has been one of the biggest problems that we wanted to solve as an agency ourselves for years. And that's why we've built Wyspur AI. So if you're using LinkedIn automation, maybe that's HeyReach or DuckSoup or Linked Helper or any of the dozen other platforms, you can create a campaign in those systems with these profiles. And then typically you'll be able to export a CSV of all of that data. And this is what that is going to look like normally. You'll get a CSV file with the data listed out here, neat and orderly in a CSV file for you. And you'll see different things like title, company, website, et cetera, et cetera. So what we would normally do is go one by one through this and make sure that everyone actually fit the criteria we'd set up. But now all we need to do is import this list into Wyspur AI. So I'm going to grab the file and we're going to get this list started in our tool here. So I'll name this, let's call it Sales Leaders for LinkedIn Automation. And all I'm going to do is drag and drop my list. What's cool about this is it'll show you how many rows you have, so you can quickly verify if you actually uploaded the right CSV. You can actually save templates for the filtering after you've done a couple lists, but we'll just go start from scratch here. So this is now going to show me all of the different columns and data that I have available in that list that I just imported. So let's say I want to go to title. I want to make sure that those are right. I want to make sure that the employee headcount range is right for the businesses, and I want to make sure that the industry is right. But you can analyze anything on here. I could also analyze the geography, or if we have their tagline, like their headline on LinkedIn, we can also analyze that. But let's start with these three. You'll see the columns that you've selected on the right here. If you want to remove one, you can simply click on the pink X to the right, but this looks good to me as a starting point, so I'll click next. Now the system will allow you to add some context as to the product or service you're selling. So this might be your own website, or it might be the website of a client that you're working for. But I'll go ahead and show you real quick. Let's put in whisperai.com, our website. We'll let our system analyze that. It'll come up with a quick summary of what we do. You can change this if you're unhappy with the wording or what you've gotten here, but I'm happy with what this summarizes here. And now the system has an understanding of what am I doing with this lead list? What am I selling? And now it has some context for these columns that I've asked it to analyze for us. And it actually will suggest different things to target in the title column, in the headcount column, in the industry column, based off of that summarization. So if we're happy with what we see there, I can actually just hit tab when I'm in here, and it'll accept that, or we can write out what we want. Something to keep in mind is that it does ask you, what is a qualified lead? Does a qualified lead need to match all of the criteria in each column that we've set? Or does it just need to meet the criteria in one of the below? And I'll show you an example of how that might work. But for this example, I want it to match all criteria. So let's say I want to find CEOs and people who would be in a position to make strategic decisions about their sales or marketing efforts. So you can speak to it in plain language and it will understand what you're saying. For the employee headcount, I want to say, let's keep this must be between 1 to 50, like we set up in our Sales Navigator search. And for the industries, we want software development, IT consulting, business consulting. And what's cool about this too is we don't have to be completely concrete here, because the AI can actually understand things and make qualitative judgment calls for us. So I'll also just say here, or another similar industry, because I haven't gone through my list. I don't know what all industries are even listed in here. There might be thousands. And so I want to keep this open to let the system decide if there's something similar. Go ahead and keep that for me. Now I'll go ahead and hit run. You'll see that it's processing. It's going to take us to our activity history page. And this page will have all of the lists that you've done before. And so you can go back and see that work. I've already run this list. It will take maybe a minute or so to complete, but I'll go here into this first campaign that I ran, which was the same list with the same criteria. And as you can see, when I click this eyeball, it's going to show us a breakdown of all the decisions made for us. And at a high level, there was 2,200 prospects in this list, but actually only 1,126 met the criteria that I set up. So when you go into Sales Navigator and you set your filters, literally 50% of the people don't meet that requirement, at least for this search here. So that is the scale of how bad the targeting is, and just shows how absolutely necessary tools like Wyspur AI are today. So if you go into the columns here, you'll be able to filter by the different columns you had the system analyzing. So let's look at the title, for example. It will filter by the highest frequency. So CEO was in our spreadsheet 619 times. The system saw that and said, yes, this does meet our criteria. It's a C-level. Okay, founder and CEO also accepted. It didn't like founder because I did only say CEO or salespeople, but I didn't know that founder was in my list because I hadn't taken the time to go through everything. So what's cool about this is it'll show us the decisions that make the biggest impact on our outcome by filtering it by frequency. And I can say, you know what, actually a founder is someone I do want to include. So I'll click on this chip where it says disqualified. Now it's qualified. It will be included into my data when I export this, and we're good to go. Similarly, if I don't like something that I'm seeing here and I want to exclude that, I can do that very quickly. So let's say, chief revenue officer, maybe they are kind of involved in this, but I don't want to talk to them. You can click on qualified, it will disqualify them and make that update for you immediately. So you can do that for all the columns that you had the system analyzing, and take a quick peek, make sure that everything's okay. This is heavily human in the loop AI system where you're making sure that all decisions that are made can be quickly checked if you'd like to. But let's say that we're happy with this. We can simply export this data, and we're going to get a download of the list that's actually broken down into qualified, disqualified, and then the decisions that were made. So now we'll simply import this list of qualified leads back into our LinkedIn automation system. And now we're running messaging only to people who actually are a good fit for us. So as you can see, here's the qualified tab, here's the unqualified tab. I'll show you another quick example that I think is really cool. So if you have a lead list with lots of data, the system can analyze this very quickly for you as well. So as an example, if we pull leads from Instantly's supersearch database when we're doing email automation, you get a lot of good information about your leads. So you've got first name, last name, you've got title, but you also get things like this where you can see their summary on their LinkedIn page. You can see their headline on their page, as well as there's a company description as well from their company profile. So rather than going through and having to read all of these and make sure that these people fit what I'm looking for, we can have the AI do that. So when I built this list, I said to the Instantly database, when I was filtering in, I said, give me people that are at marketing agencies, and I want you to find keywords of LinkedIn lead generation. So those are my target market where Wyspur AI can be a really good fit. So those are the types of leads I want to look for. And these keywords can get you close, but not everybody is really going to be focused on LinkedIn. And so I would have to normally go through and analyze all of this data or pay someone to do that for me. But now what we'll do is we'll go into Wyspur AI and we'll say marketing agencies for email outreach. I will go ahead and upload this list into the system. Again, quickly, it's going to show us 448 rows. I know that's perfect. That's what I had in my sheet. And so now we can say, okay, I want to analyze the headline of all these people. I want to analyze the company description. And I want to analyze the summary, their personal bio that they had in there. So I'm happy with those decisions. Again, I'm going to tell it we're selling Wyspur AI so that it knows what we're doing with this list and how to make decisions when it's on the cusp. We're going to change the qualification filtering here, right? So rather than saying a qualified lead has to meet all of the criteria below, I'm going to say it has to meet one of the criteria below. And what I want it to find for me is find people who specifically mention that they do lead generation on LinkedIn, because that's what a good lead is for me. So I'll do that in all of these columns. And so it's going to look at their headline, their company description, and their summary. And if any of those indicate that they do LinkedIn lead generation, then it will be a qualified lead. So I'll go ahead and run that. Same thing here. This might take a few minutes because we've got a lot of data being analyzed. So it might take 4 or 5 minutes to complete that. I did this previously, so I'll just show you the results. But of my 448, only 117 actually explicitly mention in their bios or on their profile somewhere that they do LinkedIn lead generation, even though that's a keyword that I used in my Instantly database. And this is the same if you're using ZoomInfo. It's the same if you're using Apollo. The keywords get you close, but it's not perfect. And so as we look through the descriptions here, you'll see, okay, for headlines where there was no value in here, it skipped that. It disqualified that because we don't know if they do LinkedIn or not. It's only looking for positives here. So this guy says LinkedIn on easy mode for B2B businesses. That's qualified. Perfect. And it'll go down and make that decision for every single lead. Of course, we're going to do that for all 3 columns. But effectively, now we have this list that has identified each of the people that we're going to go after does do LinkedIn lead generation. So again, I can simply download this list. It's going to show me the breakdown of all of these leads. The ones that are qualified are in the first tab. So I can simply import these into Instantly and we can run a campaign. Very soon, we're also going to have a tool that allows us to write a customized message to each prospect based off of the data that we have for them here and import that again into your favorite LinkedIn automation tool or into your favorite email automation tool. So you can actually personalize every single message as well based off of what the system knows. As a last example, I want to show you guys how the research agent works. When you're watching this, we may have changed the name to Website Analyzer as it's more of an appropriate fit for what it's doing. But we can send our AI agent to the website of each prospect to look for little clues of what that company actually does, or even in some cases, extract data from them. So let me show you a quick example. For one of our clients, we have to find manufacturers who make toys for children under 12. And so again, we can use keywords when we're doing an account search to find manufacturers with toy in their profile, and it gets us close, but it's never perfect. So again, I have a list that I downloaded from LinkedIn, and I'm going to go ahead and import that. Let me pull it off of my desktop. So I'll go ahead and select this here. And let's get into the toy manufacturer list. So if you have the website URL in your spreadsheet, or if you just have the business emails for each prospect, this agent can do that, can do the verification on their website. So I'll go ahead and call it toy manufacturers. I'm going to upload this list. And we're just going to tell this, what are you researching, right? It's the website that we wanted to look at. That's the only capability this tool has today, is to look at the website. So you can either select website or their email address to have this go take a look and analyze them. So we'll be using the website qualification. I'll tell you guys more about the custom field extraction, which is in beta. But right now, what I'm going to do is just tell the system, verify that each of these companies is a manufacturer of toys for children under 12. And I'll hit start research. It's literally that simple. It's so fast to get started, and the system will analyze these very, very quickly. This might take a minute or two. Again, I did this already, so I'm going to pop into the completed one. But as you can see, even though I used an account list from LinkedIn, I looked for manufacturers, I looked for people who had toys in their profile, and yet when we actually go to their website, only 100 of those websites actually verified that that was the case. So we'll have a nice breakdown here. It'll say, hey, zoebaby.com. What's the reasoning? This website offers a range of baby products, specifically strollers designed for infants and young children. That's a fit. And every single lead is going to tell you the decision, as well as you can go into the qualification decisions here. So here's a website that was focused on eradicating sex trafficking and supporting women in India. Great cause, but not relevant to what we're looking for. So it's disqualified. Again, we can just download that list, and now we can run our campaigns and automate messaging to those people specifically that we know are a great fit. So that's Wyspur AI as it stands today. Again, we are going to be launching a new feature shortly in early 2026 where you're going to be able to personalize messages to all of these folks so that you can automate that as well. But if you'd like to get started, you can just hit start for free on the top right-hand side of our website. And we'd love to hear from you about your experience using Wyspur AI. Thank you.